Why do we remember certain battles more than others? Because some were so devastating, they shaped the course of American history forever. These battles weren't just about strategy or territory, they were about survival. Today on SeeStew, we're diving deep into the top 10 deadliest battles America has ever faced. You'll be shocked by the sheer number of lives lost and the lasting impact these battles had on history. So, let's dig into these stories of courage, tragedy, and sacrifice that still echo through time. Number 10. D-Day, the Normandy invasion. It was June 6, 1944. The skies over France were filled with the thunder of Allied aircraft, and the waves crashed against the shores of Normandy. This was D-Day, the start of Operation Overlord, where American troops stormed the beaches of Omaha and Utah alongside their Allied partners. The mission? Break through Hitler's Atlantic Wall and liberate Europe from Nazi control. But success came at a steep price. The American soldiers faced intense German machine gun fire, hidden bunkers, and deadly minefields. By the end of the day, the cost was immense, between 4,500 and 5,000 American lives lost. Yet, their bravery ensured that the Allied forces gained the upper hand in Europe. Number 9. The Battle of the Pusan Perimeter. Let's shift gears to a lesser-known but equally intense conflict: the Korean War. In August 1950, the U.S. 8th Army found itself pushed to the brink by North Korean forces, just 65 miles from the city of Busan. If Busan fell, South Korea would likely be lost to the Communists. The last line of defense? The Nakdong River. American troops, part of the United Nations Command, fought tooth and nail to hold the river line. The battle was brutal and unforgiving, with thousands of American soldiers experiencing exhaustion, nervous breakdowns, and heavy casualties. Over 4,000 Americans were killed, and 12,000 more were wounded or captured. Yet, their relentless defense turned the tide of the war, halting the North Korean advance and buying precious time for reinforcements. Number 8. The Battle of Saint-Mihiel. We now travel back to World War I, where American soldiers faced their first major test on the European front. The Battle of Saint-Mihiel in September 1918 was a decisive assault against German forces in eastern France. The German army had fortified this region for years, with lines of barbed wire, machine gun nests, and underground bunkers. Despite facing harsh weather and muddy conditions, American forces managed to break through the German defenses, aided by French allies. The U.S. Army's artillery bombardments and tactical maneuvers impressed even their experienced European counterparts. Number 7. The Battle of Anzio. Now let's head to the Italian coast in January 1944. The goal of Operation Shingle was to capture the town of Anzio, just south of Rome. The plan was simple: an amphibious landing to surprise the German forces. At first, it worked like a charm. American troops quickly established a beachhead, but the success was short-lived. German forces counterattacked with ferocity, turning the beach into a blood-soaked battlefield. The fighting dragged on for months, with American troops trapped under relentless artillery fire. By the end, 7,000 American soldiers were dead, and over 36,000 were either missing or wounded. This battle became a grim reminder of how quickly fortunes could change in war. Number 6. The Battle of Iwo Jima. Next, we move to the Pacific theater of World War II for one of the most iconic battles, Iwo Jima. In February 1945, U.S. Marines faced a daunting challenge: take control of a heavily fortified island held by the Japanese. The defenders had spent years building underground bunkers and tunnels, turning the island into a nearly impregnable fortress. For 36 days, American forces battled for every inch of ground. Mortars rained down on the beaches, and the Marines faced machine gun fire from hidden positions. By the time the battle was won, around 7,000 American soldiers had lost their lives. The iconic photograph of soldiers raising the flag on Mount Suribachi became a symbol of courage, but it came at a devastating cost. Number 5. The Battle of Côte d'Azur. In August 1944, American and Allied forces launched Operation Dragoon, aiming to liberate southern France. The landings on the Côte d'Azur, also known as the French Riviera, were meticulously planned. Resistance from German forces was fierce, but ultimately futile against the sheer numbers of Allied troops. By the end of the operation, over 7,000 American soldiers had died, with another 10,000 wounded. The German army, overwhelmed, retreated toward their homeland. This battle was a crucial step in pushing the Axis forces out of France, but it came with a heavy human cost. Number 4. The Battle of Luzon. As World War II neared its end, American forces turned their sights on liberating the Philippines. The Battle of Luzon in January 1945 was a crucial part of this mission. General MacArthur's forces faced fierce resistance from the Japanese, who were desperate to hold on to their last stronghold. The fighting was brutal, with over 8,000 American soldiers losing their lives. Meanwhile, the Japanese suffered catastrophic losses, with more than 217,000 soldiers dying from combat, disease, or starvation. Tragically, thousands of Filipino civilians were also caught in the crossfire. Despite the losses, Luzon's liberation marked a turning point in the Pacific Campaign. Number 3. The Battle of Okinawa. The bloodiest battle of the Pacific War was the Battle of Okinawa in April 1945. Known as Operation Iceberg, it was the last major battle before the planned invasion of Japan. American troops faced fierce resistance from Japanese defenders who used kamikaze attacks and fortified bunkers to inflict maximum casualties. The fighting lasted for nearly 3 months, with more than 14,000 American soldiers losing their lives. The battle's intensity was unlike anything seen before, with soldiers advancing yard by yard under constant artillery fire. The sheer devastation forced both sides to question the cost of war. Number 2. The Battle of the Bulge. In December 1944, Germany launched a surprise attack against Allied forces in Belgium, known as the Battle of the Bulge. The brutal winter conditions made it even more challenging, as American soldiers lacked proper winter gear. Despite the initial shock, American forces held their ground, preventing the Germans from breaking through. This battle, which lasted for over a month, resulted in the deaths of more than 19,000 American soldiers, making it the bloodiest battle fought by the United States during World War II. The Allies' resilience in this battle marked the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany. Number 1. The Battle of Gettysburg. Finally, we reach the deadliest and most iconic battle in American history, the Battle of Gettysburg. Fought over 3 days in July 1863 during the American Civil War, this battle saw the Union Army clashing with Confederate forces led by General Robert E. Lee. With over 40,000 casualties, Gettysburg was a turning point in the Civil War. It marked the beginning of the end for the Confederacy, but the cost was staggering. The aftermath left the town littered with bodies, and the emotional scars on the nation were profound. President Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, delivered months later, captured the grief and hope of a nation torn apart. These battles remind us of the incredible sacrifices made by soldiers throughout history. They fought not just for territory, but for the future of their countries. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to SeeStew for more deep dives into history and beyond. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.